Join, you can.
So she won my humiliation. She did.
I won every
She
game.
wiped the floor with me.
Is that true? I'm pretty sure that's true.
Yeah.
Well, that last one would have kept going.
I mean,
But
it would.
Good morning, Austin New Church. Good morning. If you want to mosey on in, find a comfy seat. I've got a couple of my friends that I've been so excited about getting here. This is Josh, and some of you know Amethyst.
hello.
Some of you have come to our vintage show. We actually have another show this Friday at the little vintage bookstore from 7:30 to 9:30 over on the east side. If you want to know where that is, just come up and ask us afterward. We can work that out. So we missed y'all last week. We missed a Sunday for the first time in a while. Oh my goodness. So we've got I think some of us feel a little bit unmoored if we don't get a few of our hugs in here. It works out. So if you'd like to, just sit and take a deep breath and roll your shoulders back. We're going to sing this song maybe about halfway through. I'll ask you to stand up in the style of the Catholics. We'll see what happens. But I know you know this one, so sing it with us. Been traveling these wide roads for so long. My heart's been far from you, 10,000 miles gone. Ooh, I wanna come here and give every part of me, but there's blood on my hands and my lips are unclean. In my darkness I remember Mama's words reoccur to me. Surrender to the good Lord and He'll wipe your slate clean. Take me to your river, I wanna go. Take me to your river, I wanna know. Dip me in your smooth waters, as I go in, as a man with many crimes, come up for air, as my sins flow down the Jordan. Ooh, I wanna come here and give every part of me, but there's blood on my hands and my lips are unclean. Take me to your river, I wanna go. Oh, take me to your river, I wanna know. Sing that with us one more time. Oh, take me to your river, I wanna go. Oh, take me to your river, I wanna know. Come on, Amethyst.
Wanna go, wanna go, wanna go. I wanna know, wanna know, wanna know. Wanna go, wanna go, wanna go.
I wanna go. Oh, won't you please, take me to your river. I wanna go. Okay, take another deep breath. Would you stand with us? This next song has kind of become an anthem of ours. It's a pretty chill anthem, but it's still an anthem. It counts. And no matter where you come from, no matter what you're doing, there's enough room in here. We can work it out.
Wasn't really what you meant to say the other night, and that's okay. And I know you're chasing sleep, but it always seems to get away and makes you crazy, and that's okay. There's room. Some days I live in fear that I'll be the one to let you down, to disappoint you when you turn around. When I feel the waves come to take my breath away, you come and find me, and you remind me there's room, there's room, there's room, there's room, there's room, there's room.
Just the way you are.
I'll take you just the way you are.
I'll take you just the way you are.
I'll take you just the way you There's room, there's room, there's room, there's room, there's room, there's room.
Thank y'all. That was just the exhale that I needed, at least. Y'all can have a seat. Thank you so much. It was beautiful. My name is Katherine Johnston. I'm one of the pastors here at ANC, and it's cold in here. I told Chris, I was like, bring me a jacket. I'm so cold. Hopefully the heaters have kicked in, or at least we'll warm each other up by sitting close together. So glad you're here on this very cold morning. Some announcements for us. If you're new and visiting, we would love to get to know you. You can do that by filling out an info card at this QR code. It's also, there's a link on our homepage on our website. It'll put you on our email list so you can kind of get in touch with what's going on in the life of our church, and also give you all of our contact information if you want to grab coffee or lunch with one of the pastors or one of the board members. We'd love to do that. We want to thank you for your continued generosity in giving to the mission and vision of ANC, which we're excited about in just a little bit, to kind of have a little bit of a State of the Union address from Stan and Jason and myself and Jen to learn more about what our vision is for 2026. But thank you for continuing to support our vision to love radically and inclusively, and to remind one another of how we're all connected. So some things that are happening this next month, we're having a small group leader gathering on March the 1st. So if you're a current small group leader or group leader, or you're interested in being one, go to this QR code to register for that, or just email me. We'd love to gather with you and kind of just discuss what builds healthy groups and ways that we can support one another in our efforts to do that. If you'd like to get plugged in to our ANC chat or ANC WhatsApp group, go to this QR code to sign up for that. It's a lot of fun to connect during the week or when we're, stuck at home from the ice storm. It's a fun way to connect with each other. That we have a few subgroups on there specific to interests. There's a writers group, there's a book club, and then just a general chat for all things ANC. Speaking of book clubs, our online book club is meeting every other Wednesday at 7 p.m. on Zoom. We're reading the book Styles of Joy by S.C. Perot right now. It's been meeting a couple of times, but I don't think it's too late to dive in. Amy Borders is the one who is leading that group, so thanks, Amy. If you're interested in joining that, just email me and I'll send you the link. A few things happening this month, and I'm going to go through these pretty quickly because there's a lot. This Friday, February 6th at 6 p.m., we're having a potluck dinner at the Tabs House for everybody who lives in Southwest Austin. It's on our upcoming events page if you want to RSVP for that. Then happening later in February on the 11th, we're having a meetup at Leona's Botanical. If you haven't been, it's a fun spot in South Austin. We're going to meet there at 6:30 p.m. or whenever you can come hang out just to gather together. There's a great playground for kids and a lot of fun places to eat and drink. What's that? Kids and adults, if you want to go play on the playground. That's right. We're having a Valentine's gathering. I'm so excited about this on Sunday, February 15th, right after church at Shannon's house. Are you here this morning? Yes, yeah. So we are going to gather to kind of remind each other that we're all in this together, because this holiday can be a little isolating sometimes, and community is a great remedy for that. So we're going to have lunch and be making Valentine's cards and friendship bracelets. You can sign up at this QR code or also on our upcoming events page. Speaking of which, there's a bunch of other things happening this month, like writers group, an artist group, a prime dinner, breathwork, and you can find all of those on our upcoming events page. This Friday, we wanted to highlight our wonderful musicians who are on stage today are going to be performing at Vintage Wine and Books this Friday at 7:30 p.m., and we would love to see you there. I know, we're so excited. So put that on your calendars. If you're not going to the Southwest dinner with the Tabs, then you can come hear some music, hear Mark and Josh and Amethyst play there. Beach Week registration is open for our youth group. You can go to this QR code to sign up and learn more. It's also on our upcoming events page. And today is First Sunday Lunch. So we'd love to gather with you after the service at Pine House Pizza on South Lamar just to hang out and connect. We'd love to see you there. So last but not least, Tim Parker, tech team leader extraordinaire, is going to come give us a special announcement. Y'all welcome Tim. Also very handsome.
Thank you, Jason. The tech team is not responsible for the heat, so I just want to stress that. Anybody that's cold this morning, it does look like it's warming up, but that could be the amount of bodies that have entered the room. Anyway, like Catherine mentioned, I'm one of the co-leaders along with Ryan Moss with the tech team, and I am up here this morning because we are in need of volunteers. So I know that might sound intimidating. You're like, I don't know anything about what you guys do. It's really, really simple, okay? That's right. That's right. If I can do it, you can do it. Any of you who work and have done a PowerPoint presentation, raise your hand if you've ever done a PowerPoint presentation as a part of your job or as a part of your schooling. Okay, then you can do tech team. We need people that can do ProPresenter, which is the slides that are in here and the slides that go out to our live stream. We also need folks that have skill sets in doing the video production piece, which is easier than it sounds. So if you're intimidated by it, don't be intimidated by it. Come talk to me. Come talk to Ryan. You can shoot me an email. It's timothygparker@gmail.com. You can email Catherine or Jason. Let them know your interest. We really are in desperate need. We've had a couple Sundays recently where it's been kind of hit or miss if we're going to have enough people back there to make sure the service goes off smoothly. Also, one of the reasons that's important is we put out a podcast every week. I don't know if everybody knows that, but part of the reason why we need the tech team is so people can access that later in the week. So if you are looking for a place to get plugged in here at ANC and you don't like kids and you don't, and you're a little bit introverted, and so standing up front and saying hi to people intimidates you, the tech team is quiet. It's back there. You're by yourself, kind of. I mean, there's 3 of us, but if you're an introvert and you want something to do, that's a place for you, okay? So please sign up for tech team. Also, I've been asked to do the turn and greet. So I want, I know this is the introvert's favorite part. It's been cold, and so I want you to turn and talk to somebody that you don't know and tell them, what is your favorite thing to do when it's cold? All right? And I'm going to talk to our online folks. Hey, online folks, so glad that you are with us this morning. We love that you have joined us online. Would love to see you in person if you're able to make it at some point. Always, there's availability for you to reach out and talk to Jason. He has his calendar available to set up an online meeting with him, so feel free to email him, reach out to him. You can find the information on the church's website to contact him. But again, we're so glad that you are worshiping with us and so glad that you are a part of our community. Thanks.
Good job, Dr. Parker.
Yes.
Right. We'll unmute you when you're ready. All right, I'm going to ask you to join us by grabbing a spot to sit. Sit close. We know how to survive the cold. This is Texas Strong, Austin, by the way. Where I saw some of you in your big Cadillac Escalades, you didn't make it 10 feet on this ice. You somehow ended up sideways. The old hippies from South Austin and their gremlins had to pull you out. Somebody explain to everybody what a gremlin is. It's not a movie, it's a car, yeah. Well, good morning. Jason, Ashley Morris here. I see some new faces, or at least some faces I can't quite make out from here. We're going to do a little differently today. This is one of the 4 times a year where Stan comes down and leads and meets with folks and most often preaches. We added it this year to our annual board and staff retreat. And if that sounds super bougie, ask me to explain to you how freakishly cold it was, sprinting to the outhouse in the middle of the night, interrupting the raccoon jamboree at the trash can. It was lovely, Jen, but it was a bit of a hippie retreat center out in Dripping Springs. Once a year we gather as a leadership team, as a group of folks who kind of drive ministry and oversee things around here, who really are actually driving more ministry than ever before. As lay leaders, it's a deep Methodist value to lead all things with both lay and clergy. And actually around here, I think it's more 70-30 lay to clergy in terms of how things are led. But we gather once a year for the purpose of just getting to hang out, drink some hot toddies, play some ridiculous games. 2 truths and a lie. I could tell you some crazy things about some folks in this room. But perhaps before we get too deep into this, let's just acknowledge those who serve on the board. So if you could bring the lights up, very handsome, articulate Dr. Parker. If you're on our board or part of our staff, you know our staff mostly, but if you're on our board currently serving, would you just stand up and turn around? This is your moment, your princess moment. Yeah. I just wanted to notice who was the last to sit down. Kim, you were the last to sit down, so she enjoyed her moments, and you know. It's an extraordinary group of people that we have the privilege of making decisions with, leading with, shaping ministry with. And we decided we would do something different. I am aware that I don't often communicate a lot of the practical day-to-day stuff going on in the church. I kind of like that 30,000-foot elevation, and it's possible that major things are happening around here that you don't hear about if you don't check the right email or are part of the right conversation. So we thought today we would just get super practical and super granular. So I hope that works for you. If you came for a really, philosophical summary of what's going on in the world, come back next week or check the podcast, whatever the last time Catherine preached or Stan preached, you'll be all set. We're going to hear from Stan in a bit. He is a dear friend of mine. He was my first cold call after we ruined the church by I say that with sarcasm bunnies. When we launched the sequence of inclusion many years ago, he was the first call. He took the call and has been close to our church ever since. He functions as a friend, as a mentor to me, but actually to the staff and to the board as well. So he will join us in a second. But let me just tell you a little bit of a story, and I'll tell you how I'm thinking about 2026, and I think that'll matter here in a second, and you'll see. COVID was rough on our church. Right before COVID, we were looking at doing a third service because we couldn't fit into 2. How many remember that? It was uncomfortable. We had all had to smell what you had for dinner last night because it was like flying coach in here every Sunday. So we thought a brilliant idea would be to do 3 services, and that's when COVID hit and the world shut down. And because we believe in science, we know vaccines work, we waited to open the building until our 5-year-olds could have a vaccine. So I sat here for all those, can't remember how many months, and delivered sermons to a camera. All that told, COVID was tough on our church. A lot of people discovered during that time at home that they didn't actually need to come to church to continue on their trajectory of spiritual formation. Lo and behold, the world isn't quite the way you were taught it was, perhaps, where you have to go to church to make God smile. So our folks got used to their pajamas. And so we would see them maybe 1.3 times a month after COVID. And that had an impact on our finances. And then we had a staffing situation that needed some attention. And then we went into a full audit, bumper to bumper. That was mandated by the UMC as we came in. All that told, we had 2 very difficult years, but we survived them with good leadership, largely due to good financial oversight, and honestly, mostly because of Catherine's systems and templates, and she does it once and we don't have to do it again, and she keeps things like receipts, imagine that, all that sort of stuff. We grew up, we came through a very difficult year budget-wise this past year, and we're coming into 2026 and some things are aligning for us. A couple things worth mentioning. I'm ridiculously happy and healthy for the first time in, I don't know, a long time. My life has been remade around some gracious things that God has bestowed on me that I can't really describe other than to say I've never had more energy than I have right now to do this work. That's coming online. Our budget is in good shape. We're going to hold to it. We know how to hold to it now. We're looking at a great year financially in the sense that we raised $100K last fall because of your generosity. We're going to be busy looking at increasing some touch points locally. Some of the missional things that we had been doing for a while, we had to draw those down to 0 to get through the tough times, because that's how you do that. And as things are changing, and if you need more details, come to a business meeting at some point. All that to say, I'm aware that now we are finally enough ahead of the ball to where we get to have a breath and make some decisions before we're already kind of swinging to stay alive. And by that I mean, I've been walking for a couple of weeks now, a couple months now, thinking very clearly about what is the vision for 2026 for us. We're in the middle of another conversation around our values. You guys know that. But if you're going to take a church into some strategic decision-making around where it's most gifted and where it should invest itself, you start by taking its leaders through that journey. And so on our board retreat, what we did was we did the old classic mid-2000s. I don't know if you've ever seen this. Can anybody see this? This is an old psychometric tool that just gives teams language to describe where they can be relied on to score and where they need to build a team because they don't see clearly. It's a question of capacities. It's a question of clarity. And so we walked through this. This is actually something I used to coach corporately and for megachurches many years ago. We all put our results on the page out in Dripping Springs as we gathered. And we're starting to think strategically about the things that we're gifted to do. And here's the principle. Give yourself to where you're talented and strong, and you can go to the moon. And then let's build teams around those areas where you're weak. And so that's how we're thinking about things. So if you are the sort that reads upstream in a bibliography, get the book, take the test, start spitting out those results. We're going to start thinking clearly about those things. It isn't magic. It's like the Enneagram. It just gives you some language. But on the retreat, I'm curious to hear from you guys some of the things that were the takeaways. We'll wrap this with Stan's kind of vision for perhaps where this church fits in a landscape of other progressive communities around the country. But let's just get real practical. Some thoughts from the retreat.
Okay. I walked away feeling like a renewed kind of collective focus from the leadership on connection, both internally and outside of our church. So how can we make sure we're welcoming people who are new to the space? How can we make sure people feel connected, even if you've been here for a long time? And how can we make sure that we're forming connections with those who are not in our community, especially ways that we can love tangibly? All of the conversation around like, what are our strengths as leaders and what are our goals and hopes and dreams for this community? I walked away feeling like the way I think my own personal like rootedness and what I feel like is meaningful about gathering as a church is it feels like we're expanding our capacity for where we want to grow. Like we're expanding our capacity individually and collectively for joy and for love and for safety and for connection and for resilience and for doing hard things and for gratitude. Like we're trying to grow the containers inside of us to hold more and more and more of that past whatever narrow definitions or ranges we were given in our experiences as kids or previous religious experiences. And one example of that was we were talking about our StrengthsFinder results. And one of the board members was saying that she had taken this when she was in her 20s and gotten her list of results. And at that point, she was in a religious system that told her certain things about genders, like women are this way, men are that way. Men are strategic, women are feelers, intuitive. And one of her strengths was strategy. And when she took it at that time in her life, she was like, that can't be right because I'm a woman. That doesn't fit. And she said something so insightful. She said, the test was incongruent with how the world taught me to see myself. And now looking back on those results 10, 15 years later, she's in a different place where she's expanded her capacity for self-knowledge and self-love and compassion and awareness. She can see herself more clearly, which enables her to love others with clarity and with compassion and with courage and with focus. And that, it just brought me to tears to think like, that's my hope and that's my at least personal, and I think our collective rootedness and gathering is like, let's expand our capacities past what we were taught what our limits were.
Yeah. So for me, I loved that we each got an opportunity to think about ourselves and how that will inform, how we go about the year in our personal lives, in our life at church. All of that was lovely. What I got in addition to that, what was really transformative is just redefining the mission of why we're all here. And so I know, Stan talks about it frequently. It's a big piece of why, we're all here. But the idea that we are changing Christianity fires me up. And I believe that we are. I believe that, I'm hopeful that my children will come out of the jump just knowing that they are inherently good. And so for that to be the foundation and the most basic, kind of highest level goal that we are striving for, and kind of clarifying that idea, and I mean, that's 85% of, I think, our mission. And then the ways that we play that out as individuals, the way that ANC is its own unique flavor and brand of that is so cool. And we get to decide that, but just like re-clarifying that that is why we're here. So that is probably my biggest motivation. But then of course, like if we start from that premise and that principle and idea, of course we're accepting and loving, and everybody is made beautifully and perfectly in the image of God. And of course, we set out donuts because we want them to be welcome. So it just at the most micro level and at the highest, it was so just good to reorient around that idea.
Just before Stan jumps in and wraps this, so what this means strategically for us is that we're going to have to make some decisions about what we give ourselves to. Funds aren't unlimited, as you know, and it's actually a really healthy thing for an organism to start to decide, this is an area where we will pour ourselves endlessly into, and these other things, there's great churches in town that do that really well, and we don't have to recreate that. Here's some examples. I'm going to tell you some things that are always going to move us. They're always going to move us. The widow and the orphan, the unhoused community in Austin is always going to move us. The treatment of immigrants in our city, in our state, it's always going to move us. We don't have to create energy around that. Those things are always going to move us. How the queer community and the LGBTQ plus are sort of navigating a changing legal landscape in Austin and in Texas, that's always going to move us. So we're going to start, instead of thinking, because I will confess to you at some point in seminary, somebody injected this thing into the back of my brain, that every local church you pastor has to do everything that a church can possibly do. Any seminary grads think that way? I don't know why we thought that we could do that. But we're going to start thinking very clearly, increasingly around, as a board and as a staff, around what are the few things that we can do with great excellence. And if you need someone that can do this other thing, there are agencies in town that we support that we will plug you into, but we are going to streamline our approach to a few amazing, amazing things. And I think what will happen when we get to the beginning of 2027 is that we'll look back and we will say, a lot less sideways energy was spent stalling and wasting time and recreating things that matter. Friends, I don't know if you've read the news, but it matters right now that we get really, really clear on what justice looks like in our world. We came through an ice storm to face a whole nother version of ice, friends, and it's on our doorsteps, and I don't know if you follow it, but it's getting very, very real. So, lest we think that we're the only ones out here doing this work, one of the great joys of our life is to have Stan in our life, because he reminds us, because he's got a bag of churches just like this one, all around the country that he takes the temperature of regularly. If he's not here, he's in one of those. So Stan, bring us what you brought us and say some of those things you said to us yesterday on the board retreat.
Good.
To encourage us.
Would you like to know one truth about each of us from the retreat?
Oh yeah, heck yeah, heck yeah. Can I say which one you get?
No,
yes.
No, you cannot say mine. No,
I'll tell you later, because it's about an underwear ad.
No.
That's not even lying. Anyway.
Okay. No, you go first.
I just did.
No.
Stan actually was in an underwear ad.
Oh,
He'll tell you
no,
the details
okay.
Later. We're talking about ourselves.
One of the two truths, yeah, talk about yourself, right.
So the lie was I toured the East Coast playing bass in the Jonas Brothers band. And that's a lie, because I played in their parents' band when they were little.
You're supposed to share a truth.
Yeah.
One of my truths was I had a flying ant stuck in my eye.
Yeah.
One of my truths was I accidentally gave birth to a baby in my neighbor's guest bedroom.
He's in charge of planning.
That's crazy, because that was one of mine. That was the lie. I don't know how everybody figured that out. Mine, well, since Dum Dum over there already shared, underwear. I was in an underwear ad for two, Calvin Klein and Hanes. That's the That's the great way of telling the story. The lesser way of telling the truth of the story was one of our board members at the church I served way back in the mid-'90s was a J.C. Penney exec, and they needed, for internal usage, they needed these photos that did end up in the '96 fall edition of the J.C. Penney catalog. If anybody wants to find that and know me in ways perhaps you haven't up until now. But the reality was, it was shoulder down. Nobody knew who it was, and it was boxers and long johns. And the internal memo was they wanted someone that was somewhere between a younger body and a dad body. So it doesn't end up quite as juicy as what I was hoping for. Yeah, we need pictures. '96 fall catalog, J.C. Penney. When Jason and Jen, our board chair, what a board chair, by the way. What a board chair. She's an incredible board chair. This place, Amy Lambert was the last board chair, remarkable. I think I said one time here, one of the kind of, I think, litmus test of a healthy church, which I saw this weekend on the retreat. I was on a retreat with a staff and a board, and there was not one person there who created eggshells to walk on. It was a group of friends who have the ability to disagree incredibly well with an emotional quotient that merits being in positions of leadership. So that was really enjoyable because it takes one person on a board or on a staff just to throw the whole thing in arrears, and you just don't have that here. I was at Grace Point the other day, the church where I'm pastor emeritus. Oh, it's been a few months ago. I speak there about 8 times a year still. Very involved pastor emeritus. And that Sunday morning, just by happenstance, the previous 5 board chairs, the current board chair and the previous 4 over a stretch of 11 years were all happily there with their families. And I thought, boy, this says something about our community, that the people who have been on the very inside come out and they're not burned and cynical, and they still love the church. So that was, and I think the trend of Austin New Church is certainly to that end, and I'm grateful for these folk. When Jason and Jen asked me to be a part and to do what I always do, I wrote a letter. I didn't end up reading the letter. I just kind of hit the high points yesterday of the letter, but I'll read you the letter that I wrote to the board because it really is the input that they're always asking me to keep them apprised of and reminded of. I said, one of my responsibilities here at ANC is to remind the entire congregation, but especially the leadership, of where and how you fit into the larger movement of human and specifically Christian spirituality. To that end, at the risk of sounding like a broken record, but understanding the heart of teaching and learning is effective repetition, I often remind you, and this is an excerpt from a sermon when I was here last summer, arguably the single most important shift in Christian thinking, not just in the past 2 centuries, but in the history of the Christian church. And one that is presently and productively, and Jen mentioned it a moment ago, roiling our circles and reforming us, is the move by many Christians or Christ followers away from the traditional foundation belief that we all know as inherent separation. Our babies are born separated from God. All humans are born separated from God. That's been the underlying a priori assumption of Christianity's first 2,000 years. We are born inherently separated and in need of a salvific saving act that will connect us to God. Before we teach our children the good news that they can be united with God, we spend their first 5 to 12 years teaching them that they're separated from God, and yet none of us have ever met a child who inherently believes that. But the old theology would say their lack of belief in that is the proof of it because they are fallen. We are a group of people who are, with a growing movement of Christians, believing completely otherwise than that. Amen? We are moving away from that doctrinal assumption to the belief of inherent union, one that we think permeates our sacred text, the Bible. The idea that all humans are unequivocally and irrevocably born the children of God. Rather than needing saved from the wrath of God, we teach our children that they have actually forever been and will forever be safe within the love of God. So I went on, and this is where I kind of landed with them. Because this is the practical thing that really impacts y'all. And looking out at a relatively full house today is really encouraging to me. One of the challenges of a more wide-minded, wide-hearted, liberative view of Jesus and his essential message is how this thing that we could call the liberal form of Christianity, which I don't like using monikers, but because I believe Christianity has always been evolving, has always been progressive, and our naturally progressing ways has led us to this conclusion that the real gospel is not that people take a linear journey to become saved and a child of God. The real gospel is that every person is born the beloved child of God and will take a circular journey to come home to whom they've always been. Well, one of the challenges for those of us that are believing these things is how that fits with the classic institutional church. An institution built around the life of local congregations who meet regularly for worship, sacraments, liturgy, fellowship, mutual care, instruction, commissioning, and inspiration. Jason said something. I got distracted because he said something a while ago to this end that he'll come back to. COVID hammered especially churches that are believing this more progressive understanding of the gospel. Conservative, high-demand Christianity has gone almost back to its original numbers before COVID. Liberal Christianity has not. Well, there are reasons for that. And that's what I wanted to say to the leadership and to you. Those of us who hail from the dominant, those of us who come from the dominant, more conservative iteration of Christianity, we know that eternal salvation was the promise of that kind of Christianity, right? We were getting ready for the afterlife that was going to last forever. And there wasn't a lot of room for margin. It was either heaven or hell. High stakes. Those of us that come from that world, we know what that message was, and we also know that church attendance, financial giving, and gifts of service were wrapped up in that promise of salvation, right? The more liberative form of Christianity does not have the force or the leverage of those assumptions. Let me say that a fancier way. We're not putting butts in the seat and money in the offering plate by way of shame and guilt. As a matter of fact, not only are we not doing that, not only do we not have that force of leverage, we actually view that as damaging, and we view that as one of our subordinate roles to help people like many of us heal from that damage. So that's how far removed we are from it. So this is the final word that I want to throw back to them. And the reason I collaborate here is because of these people, because of you. This is one of, to me, and you don't may even know it, you're one of the front edge flagship churches in this movement. You really are. So as someone, I'm going to get personal, someone who is devotedly a part of Christianity, and as someone who has raised my two children who are 20 and 27, I raised my two children in this, their entire lives, in this more liberative, progressive form of Christianity. My kids don't know the other. When my kids hear us talk about the damage and the ideas that some of us grew up with, they are incredulous. And I'm so grateful for their incredulity that they don't know it. But as someone who has raised my two kids in a church like this, And I'm very happy to tell you they're really well formed. They're two of the best people I know. My kids are so far 20 and 27. They haven't turned out, but to the level of baking they are, they're turning out really good. I want to be clear about three things. When Nina asked me, she's a sophomore at UT Chattanooga, she asked me the other day as we were looking at her career plans, she said, "Dad, what do you really want for me?" Not from me, for me. Immediately, I said, "I want you to be good and I want you to be happy. I don't care what you do, as long as you're a good person, a decent, loving, virtuous person, and you're happy." And by that I mean you wake up and you enjoy life. I'd be really sad if you were a good person who woke up every day sad. And I'd be really sad if you were a really happy person who wasn't good. But if you're good and happy, that's what I want for you. Okay, the second thing though, I got to admit, as a pastor, and I got to tease out, would I feel this way if I weren't a professional in this? And I think I would. I know I would. I want you to be good and happy first. Second, I would love if you did that as a... See, I feel bad saying this, and yet I don't, because it's my heart. I'd love for you to do that as a follower of Jesus, as an adherent of Christianity. And thirdly, and less than... So that one, the second one is less than the first one. Well, the third one's less than the second and the first. I'd love for you to do that as a part of a local church. My kids raised in a church like this have checked off number one, and I'm really relieved they're turning out to be good and happy people. My kids, after their entire life in a church like this, would tell you that they are followers of Jesus. And they do that in an interfaith style because they believe that is the ethic of Jesus. My kids are iffy on whether or not the local church is going to be a part of their spirituality. And I'm less concerned about that than I was the second, and I'm less concerned about the second than I was the first. Stan Jr. called me last week, so germane to this, and he said, "Dad, where are you preaching this weekend?" And I said, "I'm in Austin." He said, "Would you start letting me know?" He said, "I miss your preaching." And I said, "You do?" He said, "Yeah, I really do. I need it in my life." We had a conversation then about some of this. He said, I think when I have kids, I want to raise them in church. That's not as important to me as him being good and happy and deeply spiritual. But I do believe that the local church has a part to play in human spirituality and Christian spirituality. And I think churches like this are at the front edge of kind of laboratories for that. And I just don't want you to forget, with all of your immediate work here in Austin and for your own families and life, there are a lot of pastors in Christianity that are towing the threshold of this kind of shift and are scared to death. And they're watching pastors like Catherine and Jason in churches like this. So that was my part in all of this. And I can't say it with more conviction than that out of my personal life.
So for me personally, for those of you that I don't know, and if you've taken the Strengths Finder, you're probably familiar with some of the words. I got some words that I didn't think were that good. So things like self-assurance and command, and so things where I was like, oh, those are really hard. And Kim, one of our positive, happiest person on the planet board members, she had positivity, relator, so all these lovely soft. And so she was sharing about how, when she had first experienced the Strengths Finder, she was sharing them and felt like, oof, those are soft. There's not really a place for them. I'm like, whoa, well, I have the opposite problem. Mine are hard. And I think the idea of just personal healing and taking what is mine, which is command, like different kind of harsher things. I've always sort of put those in different categories. Well, I can be aggressive or, at work. And so that works there, but it doesn't, it's not really welcome in other spaces. And so I think the idea of just like integrating as a whole person and seeing that there's good parts of command and there's bad parts of command, and my family can very much tell you the bad parts of command. But bringing that, and I know we talk about your whole self, but bringing that fully and understanding that fully, and it's not work gen and church gen and home gen, and but there's a more integration. And so the idea of us each healing ourselves with the collective baggage that we've accumulated on the planet, and coming up more fully. We'll obviously see ripple effects of that at church and the ways that we interact with each other and then in our neighborhoods. And so the idea is obviously that it's not just here, it's everywhere, that we're consistently the same. So anyway, that was another theme that was impactful for me.
I had forgotten how specific Strength Finders was, but it was startling. One of my mid-range ones was underwear model. So I didn't see it coming, but anyway.
Okay, so as we wrap this, if we do this work together, then we'll create an interesting sort of place that won't be as it is because it has to be for God to love you.
Right.
It won't be as it is because we feel too guilty to sit home on a Sunday. It'll be what it is because the world around us has so much collective grief to bear right now. And grief is born best in community, and pain is processed best in community. And it's going to take a community to rediscover a way of being the love of God in the world. That work can't be done alone. Friends, when you commit all the years of education and all the years of work to doing this as a profession, and you get midstream in life and you look back and you wonder, what is the rationale of even doing this at all? Because I'm not sure I need it. Here are the questions, here are the answers that are beginning to emerge at this way station in the middle of my life. Number one, community tells me better stories than I can tell myself alone. And so I gather with those who remind me how loved I am by God. And another one that's fast coming online as I watch news headlines late into the night, just like you, is that collective action and storytelling around grief helps us move through it. It's too important right now to isolate, withdraw, and insulate ourselves and say, I've got this all by myself. And I'm not trying to fill chairs with guilt. I'm telling you, the better way to do the work we have ahead of us now is together. I've never believed it any stronger than now. I'm not sure how to convince you that's true, except to pull you into places where your body knows the energy of redemption and resurrection. It doesn't need to be described. Why am I preaching? It doesn't need to be described. I'm just feeling it so intensely. I rolled up to the retreat and I pulled through this little hippie gate, and the first person I found was Stan, and Stan's like, how you doing? And I'm like, I think I'm going to scare people because I've got so much energy right now because it matters so much. It matters so much, and not just because we want our kids to go to heaven, friends. Let's release ancient views of a three-tiered world. Let's just be light and redemption for the world that needs to know it exists, because they're looking and they're not finding, and we have it here, and it's a precious little thing that we have in this place. And as we all know, when you have a diamond that you look at every day, it suddenly becomes unseen to you and unappreciated. Let's take this year, let's plug in deeply. Let's each bring those strengths that we have anyway. Let's bring them to bear on the collective expression of this little Methodist church. Let's not just touch Austin. Let's change Methodism. Let's change how people think about this whole thing. Let's overhaul the whole thing. I'm in. Are you? All right. Okay. Let's do this. Thank you. Thank you, Catherine and Jen and Stan. Band, where are y'all? Let's wrap this so we can go eat pizza at Pint House Pizza.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Okay, so one of the reasons I really wanted to bring my friends Josh and Amethyst. Josh has written a couple of songs that I can't get over, and one of them is one of the most poignant breakup songs that this is how I feel about the church that I grew up in. And a lot of us in here came from spaces that it was so much a part of our identity that it felt like a breakup. For us to move away, for us to move past it, for us to move into a space that feels like we're in the clouds, it feels unmoored. But it is so important, and COVID really did teach us what do we need from this, what do we want from this, and one of those things is to celebrate together. One of those things is to grieve together, and so we're gonna sing this song. We'll probably do this again on Friday, but this one is so much of my story of leaving what I used to have, and I was a huge part of for my whole life since I was a little kid, singing in church in a family band.
We talked and you walked away for good. I said things and you did things you never thought you would. I don't wanna make you love me, but I don't wanna lose my mind, 'cause I've never felt so lonely when you're here by my side. You're here by my side. Good intentions can break the tension of what we must admit. We've gotta face the music instead of giving bruises. It's time to call it quits. I don't wanna make you love me, but I don't wanna lose my mind, 'cause I've never felt so lonely when you're here by my side. You're here by my side. And I don't wanna choose you, but I don't wanna lose you. And I don't wanna choose you, but I don't wanna lose you. And I don't wanna choose you, and I don't wanna choose you. I don't wanna make you love me, but I don't wanna lose my mind, 'cause I've never felt so lonely when you're here by my side. You're here by my side.
Dang.
All right, join me on your feet. Josh, wow. Man, I don't know if church has been good to you, but you got a lot to speak to church. So
It hasn't.
Keep
I was, I haven't stepped in a church. If you don't mind me speaking a little bit.
Take it.
Yeah, I haven't stepped in a church probably since I was 18. I'm 38 now. Hated it so much. Everything that was said on stage today was exactly resonant at my experience. It is so weird being in a church that I'm actually proud of.
Wow, holy cow.
I didn't know. I actually hate how much I like this. I knew it. It's stirring up. Mark, he's been telling me for years.
Yeah.
You're.
We're happy to F up your life.
Yeah, man.
Happy just to don't look up.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Did you see that?
It's so easy to keep doing the thing that you're doing week after week and thinking it's normal. And I'm telling you, just from someone from the outside, what you're doing is not normal in the best way.
Amen.
So thank you for telling me that the church can be a force for good instead of for all the things that it's been known to do. I'm so emotional and it's crazy. I can't wait to go to therapy this week.
All right. So one of the gentle changes over the decade, nearly and a half that I've been here, is that in the beginning we didn't think of what we do. So on Sunday mornings, we didn't think of this, like what just happened and what's happening right now. We didn't think of this as mission. But I'm here to tell you with the deepest conviction in me that creating places of simple beauty that speak courageous truth are absolutely part of what we're called to do. This is where we come to tell that story so that we can go and be that out on the streets. So we used to think of this as this was selfish to focus on this because really it mattered being out there, but I just think we're in a different time, and I'm telling you, we're going to surround you with just enough light and art and spoken word and sound to summon things deep inside you that you know to be true, which we're about to celebrate together, which is simply this summarized. Your body will be fed by the life of God. And so we're going to gather around the Eucharist today. Now, this is a wide open table, friends. It's so radically open. It's closed to no one. Jesus opened it to Judas Iscariot, if you must know. That's a sermon for a different day. But the truth of the matter is, friends, is that the life of God, the unfolding life of God in the world is what you crave. It is your patrimony. It is your inheritance. It's what you're built to engage. It's what you're built to process so that you can have the energy to take this story to everyone, everywhere, beginning with yourself. And so let's prepare our hearts for the Eucharist today. And you know how it works. At the base of the stained glass, there's a cup and there's crackers next to it. Dip it in the cup. And then go back to your seat. Just follow those around you if it's confusing. It's not meant to be. It's very simple. Pray these words. Let me pray over you, and then we'll say our words of confession together. Almighty God, to whom all hearts are open and all desires are known, where could we hide from your love? Remind us now of the cleansing work that has been completed long ago by your Spirit, that in response we may perfectly love you as you perfectly love us through Christ our Lord. And Christ, our example, our friend, the one who never leaves our side, the one who defends us at every turn, invites us now to a place at a common table that will only ever have been set for us. So as you wholeheartedly seek to live and walk in love and peace and justice and the good and the hard and the costly, the risky work of advocacy with yourself, with one another's, as a community, as a country, as a world, let us now turn our hearts completely to God with these words and pray them with me. Pray them. Merciful God, we believe that you accept our heartfelt confessions today. Knowing you to be gentle and kind, even when we are not, we confess. We have been distracted, at times lacking in love. We have failed to love our neighbor as ourselves because we have failed to love ourselves as you do. Forgive us, we pray, and free us to be a people of peace through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. And you guys know the routine. It was a Thursday night when he gathered his friends and he prepared for a meal, and at some point he interrupted him and said, I've got it. This is the single operative part. This is the one mechanism of action. This is the one thing you must understand. And he lifted bread to heaven and he broke it and he said, my body's going to go through this process. But never fear, nothing ever dies. It all comes back reconstituted. And it would have terrified him at the moment because who wants to watch their loved one go through pain? 0 people. And he lifted a cup and he said, and I'm sealing this deal for all time and all places. So pray these last words with me. We've modified them slightly to speak a truth that we know to be true in our bodies, and then we'll partake together. Say with me, Our Father and Mother, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. And give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not to temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
So this next song is probably my favorite that Josh has written because it's about us. It's about what so many of you have been to me through a last year of grief, through a last few years of so much. So if you don't know this one yet, you get to learn it after this. Let's try it.
Oh, who needs the sun when I got your smile? Haven't felt this way for quite a while. You're my warmth, you're my light, you drive me wild. Who needs the sun when I got your smile? I wanna thank you for brightening up my life.
You're welcome.
Didn't know what I was worth till you paid the price. I was down on my luck, I was down on myself, till you picked me up, brought me back to health. Who needs the sun when I got your smile? Haven't felt this way for quite a while. You're my warmth, you're my light, you drive me wild. Who needs the sun when I got your smile?
Come on, Amethyst.
I wanna thank you for giving me your fire. The embers of your love are my desire. No matter how cold, no matter how dark, you find a way to ignite my heart. Oh, you find a way to ignite my heart. Who needs the sun when I got your smile? Haven't felt this way for quite a while. You're my warmth, you're my light, you drive me wild. Who needs the sun when I got your smile?
Come on.
I need you close to me, I need you close to me. Wanna feel your energy, wanna feel your energy, yeah. Wanna feel it, ooh.
Sing it with us. Come on.
Who needs the sun when I got your smile? Haven't felt this way for quite a while. You're my warmth, you're my light, you drive me wild. Who needs the sun when I got your smile? Oh, who needs the sun when I got your... We got you. Smile. Thanks, y'all.
Okay, we got a benediction. Take us home, Amy.
Hello. Hi, I'm Amy. And I'm already like kind of weepy from all the harmonies. You guys are like piercing my soul. Stop it.
Yay.
Keep doing it, but stop it. Okay, I'm Amy. I wrote the benediction for us today. What is the weight of hate? Because it sure feels heavy. The great she, America, bows under the seas of the deceased, of anguish, of greed, of power, of deceit. Yet from the soles of our feet to the tips of the trees, everything that breathes and bleeds deserves to be free and wild. Every adult, every child, cherished and held, regardless of the hand that we're dealt. So I weave my tendrils of grief into a net. Let it catch the sorrows as I rest and wait and hope and pray and gain the strength to create a way through, a way out, a way of love, a way with no doubt. For hate truly has no weight in the face of our collective embrace. Go in peace.